Alright, bet we're recording now. What's good, y'all? My name is Mindspit, aka Final Figure. Today I'm gonna be showing y'all how I do funk shit. I do a lot of funk beats, and I've actually recently dropping a funk tape. Trapped in Purgatory Volume 1 comes out the 2nd of September. So keep your eyes peeled for that, because that's gonna be fucking fire. I'll show you how I actually made some of the shit on there. This is the technique and like the process I do for every funk track I make. So yeah, I'll get right into it, I guess. This is my first tutorial, so if it's like really bad, I'm sorry. I'm not really good at explaining shit. I'll just play it for y'all first. I mean, I guess that's a good starting point. So yeah. Just take off the face cam, let y'all vibe to that. So that's the track I'm gonna be breaking down for y'all. I did a little outro here. That's what was just playing. I'm not gonna play the whole thing just to save some time. So I guess I'll start with the sample because this is how I start. Wow, can't fucking speak today. This is how I start most of my tracks. I'll go through like drum kits I downloaded. YouTube, I get a lot of samples from like old vinyl jazz records and shit. So this one in particular, I don't know where I found it. I have it, but yeah, I honestly forgot where I found this shit. This is what it sounds like. And on this track, on the sample, what you want to do, or what I do at least, I'm not going to tell you how to make music, but it's a good practice to cut out the low end of the stuff that you don't want, like the bass coming through on. Like for this, I just put this thing, I don't know what the fuck to call it, but I put it on the sample so there's no low end, so like the kicks and the 808s would shine through more. But yeah, that's pretty much how I did the sample. And on this whole, like, I have all this shit grouped right here. What I'm doing on this is I'm doing a audio filter frequency, or auto filter. I'm doing an automation on that just to make it like fade in the beginning, and also do it like somewhere for the drop, I think. I don't know where. Sorry about my laptop fan, that's just kicking the high gear right now, god damn. But so yeah, that's the sample. That's like the first main element of the track. I'll go into I guess the hi-hats and drums next, because that's like easiest to do. So for the hi-hat, why am I doing that? I can just do this. The hi-hats, what I did, I took a drum rack and I just put a hat in there because it's easier for me to like draw it out, and I don't want to like have to drag the actual like audio file in. I like doing it in MIDI. Yeah, and also in here, a fun thing you can do where what I like to do is I like to make my hats flow, so I'll use these right here to just like the value of each hat, or whatever it's called, the volume, and it gives it like a cool little pattern or flow. And you can do whatever you want with that, just make it sound like unique and cool. Those were the closed hats, by the way. This is what those sound like. You can like hear how it kind of like dips in audio from time to time. And these are the open hats. I have actually 3 hats in here. I took inspiration from like house hat patterns for this one, where it's like there's just a lot of stuff going on with the hi-hats, so I made sure to just slow it down a little bit, and it sounds pretty cool. And on here I have a reverb just to like kind of wash it out a little bit. Together it sounds like this. I was really happy with how that turned out. I'll go over the kick and snare next, I guess, and then sidechaining, because that's important. So for the kick and snare, I just put them both in one drum rack and drew it in with MIDI again, because I like to do that. This one right here is the kick on top, and these two are both snares. I like to layer my snares, so it gives it a little bit more of a snap. You can get some really unique shit out of it, but this is pretty much what I did. You can like hear the pattern I used. One thing that I do like doing on the snares is a little ghost hit, or ghost snare, whatever you want to call it. That's what I call it, at least. And it's like a more toned down version, or like quieter version. I don't know why I had trouble thinking of that fucking word. It's a quieter version of the hat. I just like put offbeat in front of the next kick. It just makes it sound cool. But yeah, that's the kick and snare, and I actually have this sidechained to the whole track, except for the like little cough medicine skit from South Park. I wanted that to kind of have its own like little part. But basically what that's doing is it's dipping this audio every time the kick and snare hits, so that way it like punches through more. Like you'll hear it. Like you can kind of hear like how when this goes down it dips in audio a little bit. That's how sidechaining works. I'm not going to explain how to sidechain right now. There's videos on YouTube for that. But it's really important when you're trying to get your drums to shine through the mix, and you want to definitely. I usually put a separate sidechain on the 808s just to make sure that the low end from the kick and 808 aren't like colliding. Just to make it like more clean in the mix, I guess. Let me see what else is there to go over. The drums, like thinking out loud. I'll do the acapella actually. These are pretty fun. I like to fuck around with these. So I use Memphis vocals most of the time. Sometimes I'll use like some more mainstream shit. Like I think I did Playboy Cardi one once. That's on my Final Figure side account. You should go check that out. It's called Smoke Break. It goes fucking hard. Shamelessly self-promoting right now. It's my YouTube channel. Be strapped in. Let me see here. So with the acapella, what I did was I cut out the high end and the low end, and I have like kind of a band pass on it, I guess you could call it. But I have this not as this one, because if it was like really steep one, I wouldn't have that little bit of high end that I wanted. So I wanted just a little bit of high end, so I used that one. I also put a reverb on it to kind of wash it out, a bit crush, or what am I saying, a redux, and I downsampled it a little bit, just like a little bit, because if it's too much it sounds kind of obnoxious when you're doing it on vocals. It gives it that kind of like vintage sound. What I like to do is I like to chop it up in some parts, like right here, and just give it kind of like a different flow throughout different parts of the song. It keeps the beat going and keeps it like entertaining for the listener, because if it's just the same thing over and over and over, it gets stale. So yeah, just try to keep it interesting. And then I also like to mix acapellas, so I have a whole separate one over here. So I'll go through these out real quick. So I'll do that sometimes. This is like the same processing on this one, I think. Yeah. So yeah, that's the vocals. I'll go over the 808 now. The 808 is... Oh, that's what I wanted to mention. I was like thinking about something earlier and I forgot what it was. the bend on the 808, like the pitch bend. I wanted to show y'all how to do that because I had so much trouble learning how to do this shit. So basically what you want to do is you want to drag your 808 sample onto the MIDI or whatever. You want to go in here and drag it in here into this. There we go. And like write out your notes and shit. And if you want one of those pitch bends or like that, I don't know what to call it. It's another good example. But how you get that is you go into here, you go into controls, you go on, not there, you go here to glide, and it's gonna say off like this when you first get there. You want to click on this, turn it to glide, and adjust the time to your liking. I wanted to do like a really quick, like kind of sweep for this one, so I did like a really short time, but you can do longer ones for like a longer transitions in between notes and shit. It's really cool. You can get a lot of neat stuff out of it. So this is the 808 pattern I made with it. You can really hear that compressor working on this 808 too. So yeah, what I do, or what I try to do, I am not educated in music theory whatsoever, like at all. I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about when I talk about notes and writing it in. So I'm gonna give a tip that I've been using to figure out what key shit's in and how to like write it in, make it sound good. I'll cut out the low end of the sample, like wherever the fuck it is. Here it is. Like I'll take this and I'll just reverse it. So like the low end, here let me just show like, oh that was not a good idea. But like that, so the low end is coming through more than the high end. And basically what that does is it allows me to hear like the low end. And if the like sub or 808 is not on the same note, it's gonna sound really weird and almost sound like offish, like you're gonna be able to tell if it's wrong. So I just like move it up and down the scale, or whatever this is, the notes or whatever, until it sounds like it's in tune with the other low end. And then from there I just kind of write shit in, figure it out. That's like all the advice I can give on writing in 808s. I know nothing about it. I'll go over like rises and effects next. For this track, I used actually a lot of effects. I don't usually use this much on funk tracks, but I have a few transitions before the big drop. I also have that little laugh here. Got this siren, just like little effects to kind of give it like an atmosphere and a vibe. And then over here I got the GTA sound, car drift, siren, just like a bunch of stuff to keep the track more, like, I guess you could say engaging and interesting. Let me think if there's anything else I want to go over. Oh yeah, this. Well, something that I like to do for a lot of my tracks, funk tracks, I like to put like little vocals over it, or kind of give it like a storyline in a way. Even though that's like the dumbest fucking way to word that, because it's just like a trap beat. But yeah, I like to put like little vocal samples over it that maybe relate to the acapella. So if it's like one of those deadbeat commercials from the, like, I don't know anything about anything from the 1900s, but like the, oh god, 1970s, like those anti-weed commercials, will sample those a lot. And if the like acapella has something to do with like rolling up or smoking, I'll use that in front of it to kind of build the atmosphere in the track. And that's something I really recommend you try out, because it gives you kind of like a theme to work with, if that makes sense. That's something I like to do. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll go over like what I did here just to filter. I think I already did that. For mastering, this is important. This is how you get sound crisp. Without any of this mastering, it would sound like this. Okay, hang on. There we go. Where is it? Now it doesn't sound bad, but it's not as like clean as I would like it to be. So what I like to do is like put an OTT on the master, just kind of brighten up the mix a little bit. I've turned the depth down and the time all the way up to make sure it's not like obnoxiously clicky or like saturated. I just like a slight amount of OTT on there. I turned the downward, whatever that is, the downward, I think, yeah. I turned that down a little bit. I turned the low end up a little bit. I adjust it however you need to adjust it. And then I put a utility on it. I like to put the bass, like the low end, I like to send that to mono, or put it on mono, however you say that. It just kind of gives the like the really low end just kind of a more straightforward, hard hitting like sound and feel, in my opinion. And then the like middle, the mid end, I don't know what you call that, stuff in the middle between high and low end, it gives that kind of like more spaced out feel, so you can get like this kind of wide effect, but the low end's really punchy. That's how I like to look at it, at least. And I put a glue compressor on it, and if I need to turn the makeup like up a little bit to make it louder, I'll do that. But this just basically makes it so it's not clipping and I'm not breaking speakers or my eardrums, because you know I like to keep my hearing intact. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. That's how I do it. At least I'm not gonna again tell you how to produce your music. It's your craft, it's your creativity. But hopefully this inspired you a little bit. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna end it off here. Again, this was my first tutorial, so I don't know if it was good or not. Y'all better let me know in the comments if you learned something or not. But yeah, this was pretty fun to make. I might do it again, I might not, who knows. But yeah, I guess I'll see y'all in the near future or some shit like that whenever I decide to upload next. See ya.